Hi, and thanks so much for joining me. Today we are doing a Get Ready With Me featuring my Sephora recommendations. If you'd like to see that, please keep watching. If you saw my Sephora recommendations, you'll know I have a lot of foundations that I listed, but I'm just going to use this one today by Merit. I think it's the easiest one of all of them to use. It's really a no-fuss foundation. And oh, by the way, if you did watch that, I did a Get Ready With Me, but then I noticed, and hopefully it won't happen again, my eyebrows were off for most of that video, so I wanted to refilm it. Hopefully it will go better today. But let's go in with this. I just go underneath. I use it as a concealer as well. So really, these are the areas where I place any kind of coverage, and then with a brush I just sweep out, and that's how easy this is to use. Really, I think the fastest application I have in terms of foundation, and I can also layer it for some concealing. I'm gonna change it up just slightly. Well, I'll show you when we get there to the powder. But I do conceal right under my nose. I have some broken capillaries. Okay, and this is the shade Suede. I'm gonna go in now with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer in the darkest area right here of my eye. Now the issue is that this puts on a little bit more than I really intend to, so it's not the most controlled as it would if I was using a brush. So I'm going to take a concealer brush, just go ahead and keep that really focused right in this area. And I did try this the other day, and it does really well without setting, so I was happy to see that. Let's go in with powder. I'm going to powder with the Gucci powder in 5. Now this is a very radiant kind of finish on this. So once this sets, it does look quite skin-like, and as if I did not apply powder. And actually, this is the part I want to adjust. It's a little bit different than when I had it on for the video. I just wanted to take the shine down just a little bit. Usually it will appear pretty airbrushed because of my powders. And in this case, this doesn't have an airbrushed look. It has more of a, a realistic look, which is a good thing. But I do prefer a perfected look just in the front here. Taking some Charlotte Tilbury setting powder. This is in 1, and I'm going to use it a bit as a mattifying because you can see that glow in the front. So it's a specific look. Some people really like that. I feel like with me, you can see my pores just a little bit too prominently, so let's go ahead with this. And you can see it just takes down that glow right in the front. And that's all I'm going to do is just place it right in the front, in between my eyebrows, because this is where I have more texture. And you can see shade 1 adds just a little bit of color. Mattified a little bit. Yeah, I'm happier with that. I do want to go in with a few bronzing type products. So we're going to take the Westman Atelier in Truffle, and I'm going to take this brush by Hourglass, which I really like. It's a 2-sided one. One has a tapered end, and I like to use this for both contour or bronzer cream product, and also highlighter. I'll just flip it over. So in this case, let's just take this right under, and you can see that it diffuses it really nicely, so you don't get a large stripe of color. So I do prefer applying this with a brush. Again, you can be as subtle as you like with it, but I really like applying it with a brush. Okay, so this is a part that went a little bit awry the last time I filmed this, and I had to fix it before I actually filmed the recommendations video because it was so light. So I'm gonna go in a little bit more heavy-handed today. I think it was too light-handed last time. If I don't apply enough pressure here, you can sometimes see my skin through on camera. Not in real life, but it really isn't until I get to playback that I see that I needed to apply a little bit more heavy-handedly. Okay, so hopefully that looks okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some brow pomade. I'm using the Pump and Brow, and the other one that I mentioned is a Merit, but I can't find it. What I'll do is I will link the video below that shows that product in action because I use it without pencil. It's definitely doable, but it's a lot more work for me because I do have sparse areas. But if you have lots of brows to begin with, that's a really nice one. Oh, I forgot. We're gonna put on other bronzers. So I've got powder bronzer. I've got the Gucci bronzer. I'm gonna take 3. So I have 3 and I have 4. So you can see they have different undertones. I'm gonna take this one though. This one has more red in it. I'm gonna use my La Mer brush for this. This is a great one as well. Available at Sephora. So far so good. It's only been 12 minutes. So usually I take a lot longer with the base, but that Merit product just makes things go so quickly. And after a while I can kind of see where my brows need a little bit more help. Not right away, but that's why I'll always go back and kind of fix them along the way. Let's go in with the Dior palette in Jungle. That's one I had on in that video. I'm gonna take just 2 shades. This shade, oh, actually, just kidding, 3 shades. This one, and this one. So I'm staying away from the green. I did notice there's just the slightest bit of a tinge here. I'll show you when I put that lightest shade on. There's just the slightest bit of, it looks like a greenish tinge. Let's go in with this deepest shade right here. This one in the middle, it's a deep brown. It's a cool brown matte shade. I'm just gonna put it in the corner. I'm gonna take the excess and I'm just going to kind of create a crease color with that. Even though these may look like they're specific, like purple palette or blue palette or green palette in this case, you can definitely pull out neutral shades in these and just stick to those. I'm gonna take this other shade here, this peachy shade, and just place it here, right there. So between these 2 shades. Yeah, you can see a little bit of that greenish tinge coming through. I'm gonna go under with this shade, the brown, again, right in the corner there, right under the bottom lash line. I'm gonna go right above, a little bit like a liner, just really soft. Okay, I'm gonna tight line with Barbarella Brown. I'm gonna go in with Ilia mascara as well, and then I will do cheek and lip. Okay, I went in with the Ilia mascara right here. I just took a little bit more of that brown shade in the Jungle palette. This one right here, I just took a little bit more of this shade. Oh, I'm mixing them all up now. This shade and intensify just a little bit. Let's go ahead with blush. Let's take the Westman Atelier in the shade Chouchette, which I think is probably one of the more universal shades. Really beautiful. I do apply this over powder and it seems to work really well that way. Now, if you don't need to set, then I think you're okay too, but this way, it's not moving around any of that concealer, or in this case, it was just more the Merit Beauty foundation, not foundation, what they call it, complexion stick. So you can see it's just a natural, beautiful glow. Really easy to use too. I like to stipple right here, especially in the front, that way I'm not moving makeup around. So if you are like me and you have to conceal, and when you apply, especially cream blushes can be a problem sometimes, stippling helps, that way nothing's really moving around too much. I feel like it brings a skin-like quality back to the skin as well, just having that cream product on top of the powder. I can't say that all cream blushes agree with being applied on top of powder, but this one seems to do really well, and I've used it with various setting powders as well, so it doesn't even have to be this combination. But I think the key again is stippling. Okay, so I feel like I have a lot on again. I usually will do this with the Hummingbird powder by Chantecaille, but today we're featuring this, so we'll go in with this, and I'm just going to stamp that right in the front here, just to bring it down. So anytime I go overboard with blush, I'll just add a little bit more powder on top, and it just brings it down. And I use such a little mirror, like I'll use the compacts here, so I can't really see what I'm doing is part of the problem. I would use a regular mirror, but it blocks too much light, so the lighting will be affected by it, so I use these little mirrors. We're gonna go in with the powder blush, this one by Charlotte Tilbury, and I love putting powder over cream blushes. I think it just really elevates it, gives it a little bit more dimension. So this one has a sheen on it, which I like, which I also like for color correcting. So I'm just kind of sweeping it over. And then again, with a little bit of powder. I'm always going back and forth with powder. Powder actually really helps with color correcting for me. As long as the layers are quite thin, it's fine for me to go in with powder quite a bit. Let's go in with a little bit of highlighter. I do have the Peau de Pêche Westman Atelier. This is an unusual highlighter in that for me, it has some color to it. I know for some people they say it makes their fine lines more prominent, but for me it is more like a soft focus. So I think it really just depends. So I'm gonna put that over there just so you can see, and then we'll put this over here. This is the Merit Beauty in Kava, and this one's more balmy. So it has a different texture, and it's a brighter kind of a highlighter, not because it's beaming, but because of the color. It's more of a champagne. Really beautiful as well, but it has a feel to it that is more balm-like. This one doesn't have that. This one dries down really nicely. You have a couple of choices here for some beautiful, clean beauty highlighters. So I love this Merit Beauty lip oil in Marrakesh. That's why I love this quite a bit. It's so easy to apply and looks beautiful. So again, Merit Beauty Marrakesh. Okay, I've removed that, and I'm going to go in with the lip glosses without lipstick. We're going to go in now with Tom Ford Inhibition. This is Tom Ford Ravish. Okay, I've removed that. Let's go in with our Gucci lipsticks. These are really nice, unique shades. So we have here Grand Hotel. We'll put that one on first. This is like for me, like a pink and a violet shade. Almost like what I would think of as an orchid shade. This is Gucci Grand Hotel. So I've removed that, but there's a bit of a stain. So these do leave a stain behind. So let's go in with Oddly Red. These glide on so easily as well. Gucci Oddly Red. And then you can take something like the gloss, add it to the center. I especially like doing that with a red lip because sometimes gloss on top of the whole thing is a little much for me. So I just like to focus it in the center. What I'm actually going to do is now remove this and then put back the Marrakesh because that's how I had it in the other video. So you can see it wears quite evenly and has a really pretty stain. So let's go in with the Merit Beauty on top of this. I think it looks so pretty. And that's it for my Sephora recommendations. Get ready with me. Please let me know if you have any questions about any of the items that I talked about. If I can't answer the question, I will try and find an answer for you. But that's it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.